No more bullying. 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 Justice for Mr. Lay. 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 Assault a minor. Assault a minor. Sam goes to jail. Sam goes to jail. Justice for Lay. Justice for Lay. Drop all charges. Drop all charges. Justice for Lay. Justice for Lay. Drop all charges. Drop all charges. 自卫无罪。自卫无罪。暴打小孩。暴打小孩。天理难容。天理难容。暴打小孩。暴打小孩。天理难容。天理难容。No bullying. Justice for Mr.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming to support the Lay family and the call for justice. As we all know, 2 weeks ago, Mr. Lay's son was in the playground of the MS-201 with several friends playing basketball when they were bullied. Right? One of his friends fought back, and there was a little minor scuffle. The bullies called their uncle, he came down, and the uncle, instead of trying to defuse the situation, he acted like an animal and he proceeded to attack a 13-year-old kid. Now, there's no way that can justify a 24-year-old grown man who's over 6 feet tall to attack a 13-year-old kid. He not only attacked the kid by punching him and then kicking him to the ground, he encouraged his nephew, who's also a minor, to proceed to kick and punch him also. Now, as his nephew was attacking Mr. Lay's son, he proceeded to attack another young person. He proceeded to attack another young person by punching him in the chest and then punching him in the face. That other young minor took off and he came back to Mr. Lay's son and pushed him against the fence, punched him several more times, and then had his nephew punch and kick him again. Now, Hassan Saab was arrested for this and charged with the crimes, but we looked at the charge papers today from the DA's office, and they left out several charges. So that is being addressed with Eric Gonzalez's office. Now, 2 days after the incident, in retribution for being arrested, I guess the man was pissed off. He went to the Lay house to look for Mr. Lay's son. They were armed with a metal baseball bat and a long screwdriver. Obviously, they were not there to try to iron things out or to defuse the situation or to pay a courtesy visit. They went there to harm the Lay family. This is not acceptable because this man shows total disregard for the law, and he should be punished fully to the extent of the law. It is assault with a deadly weapon, and there's no hate crime involved. We don't believe it's a hate crime.
There was hate crime. There were slurs spoken from the other side. So please don't say it wasn't a hate crime.
Well, you have to justify. You have to show the evidence there, right? When they enhance the video, they may add the hate crime charge later. But Mr. Sayyab acted totally like an animal. Instead of, he encouraged his own nephew, who was a minor, to continue an attack, which actually 2 people attacked, so that's a gang assault. So the DA's office did miss a gang assault charge on there.
Was Mr. Lay injured? I see he has something on his finger.
Mr. Lay suffered a gash on the head at the altercation in front of his home when Sayyab and his 2 nephews, along with his sister, went to the house to look for their son. He suffered. He's lucky he didn't die. If he suffered a direct blow to the head, he ducked it in time where he got a glancing blow, but he still suffered a gash on his head that requires 6 staples. And he suffered injuries to his body from being stabbed by a screwdriver, and he also suffered two blown fingers. on the pinky and the ring finger.
My understanding is that he was also arrested, correct?
Yes, he was also arrested. That's why we are calling for DA Eric Gonzalez to drop more charges against Mr. Lay for defending. In self-defense, he was defending his home. You come into my home, you have a right to defend it.
Now, here's the other thing between the two kids, 13-year-olds. I mean, where is this where, has his son experienced bullying in the school?
Has his son experienced bullying in the school?
That was never asked, but bullying in schools is kind of unspoken norm.
I know, but we're not talking about generically. We're talking about this.
If there are pictures, the baseball bat was left behind. The police did arrest him. Catch a seat.
What is
Physically, he has bruises on his head and his body. Yeah, there was nothing broken. There were no lacerations or scratches. And
did he get all those injuries when they went back to his home?
Brian was inside the house. He did not come out.
So he got those.
He got that from the initial attack at the behind the school, near the playground.
How are you related to Mr. Lay?
I'm his older brother from the same village. They're distant relatives, you know, we're Chinese, we're all related.
OK， 我们的受害人家属他是来感谢大家，来支持他。那他呢，因为大家知道了压力的问题，他不会说，他今天不想说。
Justice for Mr. Lee. Safety and justice for Mr. Lee.
Justice for Mr. Lee!
I want justice for Mr. Lee and the person who attacked Ryan Lay. 为了李先生的正义，我们这里的 DA 是 drop all the charges against Mr. Lee.
Drop all charges!
Drop all the charges.
Drop all charges!
Drop all the charges.
Justice for Lee!
Justice for Mr. Lee.
Drop all charges!
Drop all the charges.
Justice for Lee!
Justice for Lee.
Lay not guilty!
Lay not guilty.
Gills up! Gills up! Gills up!
还有一件事情，学校和家，我们应该要感觉安全。但是9月底发生了什么？那个 assaulting minor animal, we no tolerance for those kind of thing. The person who assaulted a minor should put in a jail， 对不对？大人打小孩的大人必须让他进监狱，对不对？进监狱！大人必须进监狱！
这里登记。那我们现在请我们这里当选的民意代表来发言。
Hello? To all the parents, the concerned parents and community members who come out today to support Brian and his family, I thank you. 今天这些上百位有 concern 的家长，还有我们社区的朋友，今天出来支持我们 Brian 的家庭。我是州参议员许玉文，我在这边先谢谢你们出来为他们发声。I just want to make sure one thing, and one thing needs to be very clear. Our children's safety cannot be compromised. Our children need to be safe on and off school ground. Period. 不管孩子出门去上学，或者是去 playground 玩，孩子的安全是第一优先。I was like very disgusted, disappointed, angry, heartbreaking to see the video. I see adult men assaulting, attacking violently, brutally against a young boy, adult man, attacking a young boy. This behavior is not okay. This behavior needs to face those consequences. My office and myself being in close contact with the school, with the DOE, with local precinct, and also DA office for following up this development. And we make sure my partners in government, local precinct, and DA office, they're fully aware the father was defending for his son who got attacked by an adult man. He was trying to protect his family. So we will continue to work with the family and stand alongside to support them to make sure we seek justice. Just want to thank all of you for coming out today. We will continue to work together to make sure our kids, our children, they are safe on and off school ground. 谢谢大家。
Thank you.
Thank you.
我们的州众议员郑远嘉 Next Term。
Okay. Thank you for everyone to be here. It shows that you're concerned about this. So we are. So as I read you, we are all elected are concerned about this, about bullying. Not acceptable. Definitely not. What to do? Okay, now I know the DA will do their job and hopefully give them the time to do. I'll leave it that way. What can we do? Okay, one thing I was not realizing, we should put this into legislation. An idea is that beginning of every school year, there should be a mandatory training, both teachers and students, on bullying. Right before the school year, everyone should be trained again and again, every year. This is not being done. We should do that. We should try that. Remind the kids what is bullying about. Second, we should always have a reminder for all of us to be mindful that violence is never tolerated. Especially parents. I know they get angry to protect the children. It's natural, it's normal. But we have to withhold ourselves to violence. Very hard. But that's examples of us being adults to teach the children. Violence is never the answer. Never. Never solve the problem. And third, all of us show strength by being here. And I'm proud that our community, our concerns are here so they can listen. The people who are making this decision and listen to us, that this cannot happen in any school system. And we hope that this is a lesson learned for everyone, that this has to stop now.
Stop now!
Stop the bullying, stop the violence, stop the assault. This has to stop now.
Stop now.
Thank you, 谢谢你。
市议员李凯健他的声明。
Hi everyone, my name is Angel Fong. I'm from Councilman Ari Gigan office. Councilman has a statement for today. I'm reading right now. He's calling on Oakland District Attorney Eric Casala and the 60 precinct to investigate all available information, including interview witnesses, and watching video picture of this two incident on September 28th and September 30th. All children should feel safe inside and outside of the school. Any harassment, bullying, or assaults are totally unacceptable and should be expelled. All changes against the father who defends his family and his own house should be immediately dropped. He stands with solidarity with the family of Mr. Lee and the entire community. This is the councilman's statement. I feel stand up and support all the families.
Hello， 大家好。我在这里，我想问，2011的 Principal, is my children safe in ST01？ 所以我觉得发生这样的暴力事件，我们就住在周围。我有2个小孩子，以后我是因为让他们想去201，所以我才搬到这边来了。现在发生这样的事情，让我们很害怕。我觉得我的小孩子还能去201吗？201还安全吗？这是我在问我的问题。还有就是，警察同志，请你看清楚，这些是坏蛋 ，OK？ 这些是暴力者，这些是受害者。为什么受害者要被抓去关起来，还要被控罪？为什么？好，谢谢，这是我需要问的。
我大女儿是在201这个学校，我小女儿还是在201，现在还是在校的。然后我在偶然的一个时间看到了，有一些人把这些图片发到群里面的时候，我立即转发了这些所谓的照片、故事，全部发到社区群，求关注，求社区能够站出来发声，因为我不想我的女儿会成为下一个，我不想公园它是一个小孩子玩耍的地方，那大家都恐惧，对吧？学校应该是一个安全的地方，应该学习的地方，是要成为国家以后栋梁有约的地方，不是用来学习打架的地方。我有无数个疑问。第一，28号的时候他已经打过一次了，为什么30号的时候，这些带着家长跟小孩一起拿着棒球棒，然后挨家挨户的去按门铃，要找到这个华人的华裔家庭？这个疑问我到现在还没有解开。然后为什么都没有社区人士或者学校或者出来说哦这个事情，告诉我们，发 email 给我们？我至少也是一个201那个学生的家长，对吧？我有知情权。OK， 如果我们父母打小孩的时候打成这个样子，你敢动一个手指的话，你们政府会不会收走我们的孩子？大家说一下会不会？会。那我们现在应该要怎么惩罚这个打小孩的大人？禁止。对，因为我第一想到的就是我们现在被女员工，被这些女保释金释放，被这些所有的那些恶法害的，我们觉得很有恐惧。我们应该要追求幸福的权利来这里。我们每天都感到很恐惧，是不是很不安全？我们随时出去了，我们就会怕被人打。我们去做生意，我们去赚钱，我们怕被人抢。你叫我们应该怎么做，对吧？我现在很多疑问，真的很多疑问，但是我不知道哪一个先说，是吧？我要留给下一个家长。谢谢大家，希望我能够把这些疑问在 DA、在学校、在警察局、在社区，我能够得到一个满意的答复。我要真相，就这么简单。谢谢。
反对暴力！反对暴力！反对暴力！反对暴力！
I was deeply
deeply disturbed by the videos and photos that circulated, depicting an incident that commenced as a school bullying episode and escalated into a horrifying assault on a 13-year-old minor. This was followed by a terrifying chase that saw the assailants targeting the minor's family in their own neighborhood. I was left frozen and restless throughout the weekend, haunted by the thought that it could have been my child or my husband. What does a parent do when another child engages in a fight with theirs and threatens with, "I know where you live"? Is school safe for my child anymore? If not, how do we safeguard our children when the city we call home no longer feels safe? It's time for us to vote. Yes, we all need to register to vote as a citizen. Only when you vote, then your voice will matter. If you don't vote, then you don't count. Election season is around the corner. I hope all of us can vote to have better and safer community and schools. And I'm gonna say something briefly in Chinese too. 整个周末我都感到不安和坐卧不宁，被一个念头困扰着，那就是这样的事情可能发生在我的孩子或者我的丈夫身上，但另一个妈妈与你的孩子发生冲突的妈妈威胁你，我知道你住在哪里的时候，作为家长的我们应该怎么做？学校对于我的孩子还是一个安全的地方吗？如果不是，当我们称之为家的城市不再让人感到安全时，我们该如何保护我们的孩子？现在是我们投票的时候。是的，我们所有人都需要注册成为公民并投票。只有当你投票时，你的声音才会有影响。如果你不投票，那么你的声音就不会被记录。选举季即将到来，我希望我们所有人都能投票，以创造更安全的环境。Justice for Lei from charges. Assault a minor. Some goes to jail. No more bullying. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Coach Nelson. I come from the beautiful island of Puerto Rico to support. Sorry, I'm new to this stuff. So I come from the island of Puerto Rico to support you guys' community. So I do teach basketball on IS-201 last summer. Okay, and I saw some of the behavior patterns for some of the cultures out there. I'm glad you guys are here together, all right, to show unity. But what a great way to feel like American. Look at our kids holding signs instead of holding books. Okay, so that makes me very annoyed to see children not holding books instead of signs, all right? Unfortunately, we have adults beating up little kids. That is unacceptable in our communities. All right. Now that you see that it's happening, what are we doing about it? What are the politicians doing about it? What is the school doing about it? Where's the principal for the school, IS-201? Where are the staff members for IS-201? Right? We here. I live in Brownsville community. All right. That's not my neighborhood. But you guys, as Americans, we all should stick together. All right. Like I said, what a great way to feel like Americans. Okay. All right. Politicians, open your eyes. Police department, show support, demonstrate support, like I show support. I come all the way from Brownsville to teach basketball. Within the basketball, we teach awareness, all right? We teach awareness of cultures, all right? So basketball is a hoop. We hook them to bring them in so we could teach them awareness, all right? So we could feel connected collectively as a unit, all right? Not dispersed, but our children should be holding books. Our children should not be afraid to go to school. All right, what a way to live in America. Right? There's wars out there in different countries, and they say we're fighting our own war out here. So open your eyes, all right? See what's happening around your community. all right, something you dislike, sit down, get together, and find solutions, all right? Because no one else is finding the solution for us. Right, like I said, I come from a different community to show support. Because I see this happen in my community, okay, all the time, on a weekly basis. And now it's happening to you guys, okay? So you guys stick together, find solutions yourselves, all right? Try to create a program where parents get together and develop safety in your own community, okay? All right, don't wait for the police to help you. You help yourself, help your neighbors, okay? You need to stop closing your window with something happening outside your door, all right? So I've been in that community in 201. Like I said, I teach basketball in the playground, and I see what's happening outside, all right? So it's not time for you to say, well, it's not happening to my son, let me go home. Well, guess what? Now it's happening to your own child, to your own neighborhood, all right? So what's next? Are you gonna let it continue, or are you gonna take a stand, all right, and develop a safe community? Don't wait for somebody else to develop that for you. You do it yourself. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry if I offend anybody. I'm Coach Nelson. Have a blessed evening.
Hey, how you doing, guys? My name's John. I just have a few things to say. I had an experience getting bullied when I was young. I helped my sister. She was bullied. I was 4 or 5 years old. I had to fight for her. I had to save my sister from a bully, and then in turn I got beat up for it. So this incident is very close to me, having experienced that, and also seeing what's happening in the community. But more so, we've seen this happening all over the world. I grew up in South America. I'm Chinese, and I live in Brooklyn, so I have friends from all different ethnic, all different culture. But what we're seeing right now in the world is not okay. And like the gentleman before me, what he said, we have to all step up. All of us have to come together. We are human beings. We live in this neighborhood, whether we like it or not. We're all neighbors. So we have to come together, and we need to be better neighbors, better citizens, better parents, better uncles, better friends for everyone in the neighborhood. If you see something wrong, pull a kid to a side, talk to him. Hey, listen, you're not supposed to be bullying someone on the handball court or on the basketball court, and do something about it. Everything starts small. You plant a seed in a young person's heart when they're young. Plant that education in them. Let them know what is right and wrong. And over time, hopefully, that child will grow up to be a better person, a better citizen, and it will affect everyone, so it doesn't have to come to something like this. Violence is not the answer, but when it does happen to you, you have to be able to defend yourself. And when you do, you should be able to defend yourself without getting arrested. So what happened to Mr. Lai is not okay. All the charges needs to be dropped. Drop the charges. Drop the charges. Thank you.
同样的事情发生过。我以前在那个Lafayette High School 里面读书，然后不知道大家有没有听过，大概15年、20年前的时候，那边学校是很恐怖。每一次进去学校里面，你要好像过机墙一样，你 take like 15-20分钟才能进去，因为他要用那个 metal detector 看你有没有带武器进去。然后我就是在那个时候在学校里面给10来个学生打了10分钟。所以那个时候我家长不在美国，那个时候我家长我怕他们，但是没有告诉他们。但是他们是在香港的报纸看到我给在这边打，所以他们也很担心。我在这边时候还要做手术啊，还好那个时候有那些议员帮我们出来。然后希望我今天说的想要大家知道，我们是有力量在这里的。如果你们小孩也好，你们家里也好，有什么事情，不要就自己放在家里，放在心里，一定要说出来。我们有很多议员在这边帮我们，奥运区在这里，在社区这里，我们 we are here to help， 我们会尽量帮你们去解决问题。所以希望如果有事情的话，你们一定要说出来找我们。
I'm a retired NYPD lieutenant, and I'm hearing some, I think, conflating here This is not a bullying incident, okay? It may have started out that way, but it quickly escalated. That man assaulted a minor. That is a felony. Assaulting someone, a minor, is a felony. It should be treated as such. And then, what happened 2 days later? A man comes to a person's home with a baseball bat. A baseball bat. And let's look at it in context of what's gone on over the past 30 years, where our Asian families have been targeted for victimization in the subways because they're seen as an easy target. How many of our Asian families, our Asian brothers and sisters, are pushed in front of a train? They're afraid to ride the subway. They're afraid to travel to school on the subway. They're letting the fear of crime decide which schools they want to go to. My kids all go to Brooklyn Tech. I'm on the executive board of the PTA at Brooklyn Tech. I know families who, after studying and working so hard and getting their kids in, turned it down because they didn't want their kids riding the train. That's the background. That's the background. And when that man saw this mob of 2 people, it was like a lynch mob coming to his home. What was he supposed to do? The cops had to do what they had to do. They had to arrest him. But you know what? Now, the district attorney can use his discretion, take the totality of the circumstances in mind, and drop the charges. Drop those charges. He drops charges for everybody else. Let's drop the charges for this man. My name is Vito Labella. I promise you, I will stand up for victims over criminals. And our legislators need to pull back all of the pro-criminal, anti-police legislation that they have passed over the few years. We have to be pro-police and anti-criminal. I'm Vito Labella, and I promise I'll always have your back.
他的statement， 他的声明。
Before I read Susan Zhuang's statement, I just want to express my gratitude for this amazing crowd out here. It is very, very touching as an Asian American New Yorker who's been fighting for parents' rights in education to see the showing that we have tonight. I didn't mean to get this emotional, but it's really important that we stand up and speak out and fight for what we need to have: safety for our kids, a great education, schools that we feel comfortable sending our kids to. We should not be afraid in New York City. Let me read the statement now from Susan. Susan Zhuang is the Chief of Staff for Assemblymember William Colton and a candidate for City Council in District 43. Unfortunately, she has a scheduled meeting in Manhattan about homeless shelters and regrets that she can't be here today. Susan asked me to read her statement. I am deeply disturbed by the school incident which occurred at the end of this September. Children must feel safe in and around their schools if they're able to learn successfully. Violent incidents such as what happened on September 28th and 30th must not be tolerated. Schools, law enforcement, and our court system must send a clear message that those resorting to violence in and around our schools and kids must face the full consequences of the law. We must demand that the New York anti-school bullying laws enacted years ago be strictly implemented. Training programs for both students and staff should be required in all schools on a regular basis. Arrests were made by the police in these incidents. We must demand that our legal system proceedings ensure that justice be done to those who initiated and carried out the violence. A strong message be sent that we will never tolerate violence against any students or families. Strong measures should be taken to oppose it. That's the end of Susan's statement. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
我们大家来这里，为的是什么？为的是我们家长的权利，为的是我们孩子的权利。维权是我们华人在美国 不可避免，并且一定要走过去、跨过去的坎。所以呢，我现在让我们布鲁克林的维权先驱，我们的亚总会谭会长来讲几句。各位，今天站在这里，绝大部分都是我们的亚裔华人的家长。今天来到这里，近1000个人在这边家长。我们的目的是什么？主要我们要有个安全的、不要受歧视的一个机会。因为现在每一个地方都是恐惧的地方。这一次上个28号发生事情，整个惊动了我们6个社区。我们作为一个社区人士，见到这样受到每个机会，特别是6月4，还有我们不能歧视我们亚裔华人。我们为了自卫，我们可以抓打人，冲到人家家里犯人，这是公平吗？不这是公平吗？不我们一定要抵制这样的歪风，我们要报仇，我们说出我们的对他的不公，希望大家不管在哪里，我们走在哪个地方，我们需要我们公平，为小孩子安全，学校、区委都是我们需要的。现在目前，我请问Gonzalo DA， 布克林 DA， 著名的一个反歧视，对我们特别华人打压，从他上台到现在几年来，没有一次对我们华人是个公平的裁决，不是对我们公平的说话。我们一定手上每一位家长应该到我们的选票要成熟，我们需要帮我们华人争取利益，争取公平。